Everything seemed fine until she reached for her phone on a Tuesday morning to call her mother. Her name was Clara. She was 43 years old, lived in a 2-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor of a building she'd meant to leave for years but never did, and had a Tuesday morning routine so familiar it had become almost invisible to her. Wake up, coffee, phone, call mom. She'd done it for years. Since moving out at 22, since the divorce, since the kids started school, the call was rarely about anything important. Her mother's garden, a recipe, something she'd seen on the news. Clara sometimes half-listened while rinsing dishes. She wasn't proud of that. She thought she'd have time to be more present. She thought there would be more Tuesdays. She reached for the phone, and then, just for a second, not even a full second, she forgot. And then she remembered. And the forgetting, followed by the remembering, was somehow worse than the grief itself, because for that 1/2 second, her mother was still alive, and then the world collapsed back into what it actually was. She put the phone down on the nightstand. She didn't make coffee. She sat on the edge of the bed in the early gray light and looked at her hands. She didn't cry. She'd cried so much in the weeks before, at the hospital, at the funeral, in the car on the way home from the funeral, that now there was just this flat, hollow stillness. Like weather after a storm, not peace, just the absence of sound. Her daughter knocked on the door at some point and asked if she was coming to breakfast. Clara said yes, in a minute. She sat there for another 40 minutes. She went to the kitchen eventually. She made coffee. She sat at the table and looked at the mug and didn't drink it. The coffee went cold. She didn't have the energy to warm it up again. Maybe that's not exactly your story. Maybe it wasn't a mother. Maybe it was a husband, a sister, a best friend you'd known since you were teenagers, a child, and even putting that word down. I want to be careful, because I know that if that's where you are, almost nothing I say will touch the place you're in right now. Maybe the loss is recent, still sharp, still disorienting. Maybe it's been months, and people around you have quietly moved on, and you're sitting with the strange guilt of not having moved on with them. Maybe you're somewhere in between, not devastated every hour but ambushed without warning, by a song, by a smell, by a Tuesday morning when you reach for the phone out of habit. Wherever you are in that, I want you to know that this video exists for you. Specifically for you. Not for people who have already made peace with loss. Not for people who have found the words for it. For people who haven't. For people who have tried to pray and found only silence, or who have felt something that might be anger at God and don't know what to do with it, or who simply don't have the energy to feel anything spiritual right now and are watching this because they couldn't think of anywhere else to go. That's enough. Exactly as you are right now, that's enough to begin. What we're going to do together in this video is simple. We're going to sit with a story. We're going to spend a long time with a psalm, a very old one, written by someone who knew what it felt like to walk through darkness without a clear way out. We're going to reflect slowly, without rushing toward any conclusion, and when the time is right, we're going to pray together. Not a polished prayer, not a performed one, just an honest one. And throughout all of it, I want you to notice the candle that's visible in this video. That flame. Small, steady, slightly uneven the way real flames always are, is not decoration. It's a symbol of something I want to stay with all the way through. The idea that God's light doesn't arrive at the end of the darkness. It's present inside it. Not loudly, not obviously, but present. We'll come back to that. Clara sat at the table until the morning light shifted. Her daughter had gone to school. The apartment was quiet in a way it had always been quiet, but now the quiet had a different weight to it. Like a room where furniture has been removed. The space is the same, but you keep adjusting your walking to account for something that's no longer there. She didn't know what to do with that. She still doesn't, if I'm honest with you, because we're not at the part of the story where she finds the answer. We're still at the part where she's sitting with the cold coffee and the absence and the hollow light of a Tuesday that was supposed to be ordinary. That's where we're starting. Right here. No answers yet. Just the weight of it, held honestly. Clara is still at that table, and in a way, so are you. Maybe you've moved through the days since the loss. You've gone to work or taken care of the kids or answered messages from people who didn't know what to say, and so said the things people say. They're in a better place. At least they're not suffering anymore. God needed another angel, and you nodded or said thank you because what else do you do? But somewhere underneath all of that, you've been carrying something that doesn't have a clean name yet. I want to try to describe it, not to define it, just to name some of what it might feel like, because grief this close to the bone rarely announces itself clearly. It might feel like waking up every morning with a few seconds of ordinary before the remembering hits. And every morning the remembering hits. And you think, at some point surely it won't hit this hard, but for now it does. Every morning. Like a door you didn't know was there, opening onto a room you don't want to enter. It might feel like being present in your own life but slightly behind it, like watching everything through glass. People talk to you and you hear them, and you respond, and you function. But there's a layer of distance between you and everything that used to feel immediate. Food doesn't taste the same. Conversations don't land the same. Even things you used to love. A walk, a piece of music, a sunset. They arrive at the surface and don't quite go deeper than that. It might feel like time has split into two separate tracks. The world's time, which keeps moving at its regular pace, and your time, which stopped somewhere around the moment you got the call, or sat in the hospital corridor, or stood at a graveside in weather that had no business being as ordinary as it was. The world has kept going. Inside, the clock stopped. And nobody talks about how strange it is to live in both of those time streams at once. And then there's the thing that's hardest to say out loud, the thing that maybe you've thought in a quiet moment and then immediately felt guilty for thinking. The anger, not at the person you lost, not even always at the illness or the accident or whatever it was that took them, but at God. A low, quiet, confused anger that asks, where were you? Why didn't you stop this? I prayed. I believed. I trusted. And this happened anyway. And now I don't know what to do with the faith I've been carrying, because it didn't protect the person I loved most. And I don't know whether I'm allowed to say that. And I don't know who I am in relation to God now that I've felt this. If any part of that is true for you, even a small part, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not less faithful for feeling it. You are not in danger for feeling it. The anger is not the opposite of faith. Sometimes it is the most honest form of it. 3,000 years ago, someone felt exactly this. Not the same story, not the same loss, but the same weight, the same disorientation, the same desperate reaching for God in a darkness that didn't seem to be lifting. And they wrote it down. His name was David. And before he was a king, before he was a warrior, before any of the things he became, he was a shepherd boy who knew what it was to be alone in open country in the dark. And he wrote a psalm, Psalm 23, that has survived 3,000 years not because it has all the answers, but because it doesn't pretend to. I want to read it slowly, not all at once. I want to take a few lines and just let them sit. He starts like this: "The Lord is my shepherd." Just that. Just those 5 words. Stop there for a second. Not the Lord was my shepherd. Not the Lord will be my shepherd when I get through this. Present tense. Now, in whatever this is, right now, the Lord is my shepherd. I don't know if that lands easily for you right now. It might not. It might even feel a little hollow if the loss is still very fresh, because the thing about grief is that it can make even true things feel distant. And that's okay. You don't have to feel it to let it be true. Then he writes, "He makes me lie down in green pastures." Pause there. Not he fixes everything. Not he explains everything. He makes me lie down. There's something almost physical about that. Like someone who is so exhausted they can't choose rest for themselves, and something gentle, not forced, not dramatic, just something that says, "Here, lie down. You don't have to keep going at this pace right now." And then, he leads me beside quiet waters. Quiet waters, not rushing waters, not dramatic, miraculous waters. Quiet ones. I've been thinking about that detail for a long time. In the middle of grief, the world is rarely quiet. There are logistics. There are people. There are decisions that somehow have to be made in the immediate aftermath of the worst thing that's ever happened to you. And underneath all of that noise, there's the louder noise of your own mind. The replaying, the second-guessing, the inventory of every last conversation. And into all of that, the psalm offers quiet waters, not an answer, just a place where the noise can, for a moment, become something you stand beside rather than something you're inside of. He restores my soul. 3 words. He restores my soul. That phrase, in the original language, it has the sense of bringing something back, turning something around that has wandered, reviving something that has gone faint, not creating something new from nothing, restoring something that was already there, that grief has temporarily made unrecognizable to the person carrying it. Your soul is not gone, even when it feels like it, even when you can't feel it at all. The psalm is saying, it's there, and it can be restored, not by effort, not by doing the right spiritual things, by the shepherd who walks beside it. The candle in this video, emit of that small steady flame in the dark, is not here to tell you that everything is fine. It's here to say what the psalm is already saying, that light is present. Not because the darkness isn't real, but because the shepherd doesn't wait at the edge of the dark. He walks into it. We'll go deeper into that in just a moment, because the most important verse of this psalm, the one I think you most need to hear today, is still ahead of us. Stay with me here for a moment. We're not moving away from what we just felt. I want us to go deeper into it. There's something about Psalm 23 that I think gets missed when it becomes too familiar, and it does become familiar. It's read at funerals, it's printed on greeting cards, it's quoted so often that sometimes the words pass through us without catching on anything. So I want to try to slow it down enough that it catches. Not as a religious text, not as something beautiful to admire from a distance, but as something that might actually be able to reach the place where you are right now. Let's go to the image at the center of this psalm, the one that I think matters most for someone who is in grief. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. I want to take that apart very slowly, because almost every word in that sentence is doing something. First, even though, not if, not unless. Not once I've gotten myself together enough to walk through it. Even though the valley is assumed, the dark place is a given. David doesn't say, if you ever find yourself in a valley. He says, you will. The valley is part of the walk, and even so, even in that, something holds. Now, I walk through, not I fall apart in, not I get stuck in, not I sit down and give up in. Walk through. That phrase carries something important, and I don't want to make it sound like a motivational statement. It isn't one. It's not keep going. You can do it. It's something quieter than that. It's an acknowledgement that movement is still possible even when it doesn't feel like it. Not fast movement. Not confident movement. Not movement that knows where it's going. Just through. One foot and then the other foot. And then the valley of the shadow of death. I want to stop here the longest because this is where I think the psalm meets you most directly today. What is the shadow of death for someone in grief? It's not just the moment of loss itself. It's everything that comes after. It's the Tuesday morning reach for the phone. It's the chair at the dinner table that you haven't moved yet but can't bring yourself to sit in. It's the first birthday after. The first Christmas after. The first ordinary Wednesday that would have been completely ordinary, except that they are not there for it. The shadow of death is long. It doesn't lift all at once. It moves the way actual shadows move. Slowly depending on where the light is, sometimes shrinking, sometimes stretching longer than you expected. And David, who has walked through real loss, real danger, real dark, calls it exactly what it is. He doesn't soften it. He doesn't call it a difficult season or a period of transition. He calls it the valley of the shadow of death. And I think that naming matters, because one of the loneliest things about grief is the feeling that you're not supposed to call it what it is, that you're supposed to be further along than you are, that your faith should have softened it more than it has, that the people around you with their good intentions and their slightly uncomfortable condolences need you to be okay before you actually are. The psalm gives you permission to name it, the valley of the shadow of death. That's where you are, and the psalm doesn't flinch at that. Now let me sit with a second image from the psalm, one that comes a little earlier, and that I think carries something different for grief specifically. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. The question I want to sit with here is this: what does it feel like when the soul needs restoring? I think it feels like this. It feels like going through the motions of your own life without being quite present in it. It feels like trying to pray and finding that the words don't come, or that they come and feel like they're hitting a ceiling and falling back down. It feels like opening the Bible and staring at the page and not being able to make the words mean anything. It feels like sitting in a service or watching a video like this one and thinking, this is meant to help. And I know it's meant to help. And I can't feel it helping. That is a soul that needs restoring. Not a soul that has abandoned God. Not a soul that has failed. A soul that is exhausted. A soul that is depleted. A soul that has given everything it had to carry the weight of this loss and is running on something close to empty. And the Psalm's answer to that is not, try harder, pray more, believe differently. The answer is, He restores it. The restoration is not something you produce. It is something that is done for you by a shepherd who knows the difference between a sheep that is resting and a sheep that has collapsed, and who responds to both with care. I find something genuinely comforting in that. Not in a surface way, in the way that something true sometimes lands when you've been carrying something heavy and someone says exactly the right word without knowing they were going to. You don't have to restore yourself. You don't have to manufacture a spiritual experience right now. You don't have to feel the peace before it's real. The psalm is saying, the restoration is His work. Your job, if you can even call it that, is simply to be somewhere near the quiet water, to not run from the shepherd. And even that, even just being here, watching this, sitting with this, maybe that's what being near the quiet water looks like today. There's a third image I want to spend a moment with before we move on. It's the image of the shepherd himself, not as a title, not as a metaphor to be decoded, but as a presence. The Lord is my shepherd. In David's world, a shepherd was not a distant figure. A shepherd was the person who was there, who slept where the sheep slept, who walked where they walked, who went out into the dark when one of them was lost. Not at dawn, not when it was convenient, but then, in the dark, immediately. The question I want to sit with: does that match what you feel right now? Does God feel like someone who is there? I want to be honest with you. For a lot of people in grief, the answer to that question is no. God has felt very far away. Or worse, God has felt present but silent, which can sometimes be harder to hold than absence. Or God has felt like something you once had access to that the loss has somehow put out of reach. And you don't know if that distance is something you caused, or something that just happened, or whether God is actually there and you simply can't feel it. I don't have a simple answer to that. I'm not going to tell you that if you just believe hard enough the sense of presence will return. That's not honest, and it's not what this psalm is offering either. What the psalm offers is this: the shepherd is there regardless of whether the sheep can feel him. The shepherd's presence doesn't depend on the sheep's awareness of it. The sheep in the valley of the shadow of death is not there alone, not because the sheep can always tell, but because the shepherd went in. And maybe that, just that sentence, is enough to sit with for now. The shepherd went in, not waiting at the edge, not watching from a distance with concern. Into the valley, into the shadow, present in the place where you are, even when the dark makes it hard to see anything at all. We've been in the valley together for a little while now, and I don't want to rush us out of it. But I do want to show you something that's visible from inside it, something that I think David was pointing toward, and that I think matters specifically for the kind of pain you're carrying. Because there's a movement in this psalm that I haven't named yet, and it's subtle enough that it's easy to miss if you're reading too fast. The psalm starts in the third person. The Lord is my shepherd. He makes me lie down. He leads me. He restores my soul. God is spoken about. Present, yes. Real, yes. But described from a slight distance, the way you might describe someone you trust deeply, someone whose character you can vouch for. And then something shifts. Right in the middle of the valley, right at the darkest line of the whole psalm, the language changes. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You, not he, you. David stops describing God and starts talking to him. In the darkest place the distance closes, not on the mountaintop, not in the green pastures, in the valley. That's where the psalm moves from talking about God to talking to God. That's where the third person becomes second person. That's where the distance collapses into something immediate. I've been sitting with that for a long time, and I think what it means, at least one thing it means, is this. The valley is not where God becomes unreachable. The valley is where he becomes most directly present. The valley is where the distance that can feel comfortable in easier times suddenly becomes unbearable, and the unbearability of it drives the psalmist into direct address. Into you, into speaking straight to the face of the one who is there. That shift, from he to you, is one of the most honest things in all of Scripture, and I don't think it's an accident that it happens exactly there. Let me stay with one more image from the psalm before we move into the practical. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. A rod and a staff. Two tools. Both of them real physical objects. Not visions, not miracles, not supernatural interventions. Tools. The rod was used to protect. If a predator came, a wolf, a lion, the shepherd used the rod. The staff was used to guide, to redirect a sheep that was wandering toward the edge, to steady one that had stumbled, to pull one back from a place it shouldn't go. The question I want to sit with here is this: what does it feel like to be guided when you can't see where you're going? In grief, the future disappears. That's one of the things nobody quite prepares you for. It's not just that the person is gone. It's that the future you had imagined, the one that included them in it, is also gone. And in its place there's just this open, featureless space that you're supposed to somehow walk into, and you don't know what it looks like, and you don't know who you'll be in it, and the not knowing can feel almost as heavy as the loss itself. The rod and the staff don't give you a map. They don't show you the future. They don't tell you who you'll be on the other side of this. What they offer is something more immediate than that. Steadying, redirecting, presence that intervenes quietly when the edge gets too close. Not a plan, a hand. And I think that's what a lot of people in grief actually need. Not an explanation of why, not a promise of when, but just something steady enough to lean on for the next few steps. Just enough to not fall. Just the staff, held out at the right moment. Now I want to be practical for a moment. Not prescriptive. I'm not going to tell you what your grief should look like or give you a list of things to do. But I want to offer a few very simple ways that this psalm can enter your daily life in the coming days and weeks, specifically for the kind of pain you're carrying. The first is this: there will be moments, probably early morning, probably late at night, when the weight of the loss lands on you in a way that feels impossible to carry. When you wake up and the remembering hits, or when the apartment goes quiet and the silence becomes unbearable. In those moments, instead of reaching for distraction or waiting for the feeling to pass, try picking one line from this psalm, just one, and saying it out loud. Not praying it, not performing it, just saying it. Something as simple as, "You are with me." That's it. 3 words. Said into the dark of a room where it feels like nothing is there. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to believe it completely. You just say it, and let it be there, in the air of the room, alongside everything else that's there. The second is this: grief has a way of making the future feel like something you have to figure out all at once. The rest of your life without this person. That's an enormous thing to try to hold, and you don't have to hold it all at once. The psalm doesn't say, "He shows me the whole path." It says He leads, present tense, one step at a time. The green pastures don't have to mean the rest of your life is going to be okay. They can mean there is somewhere to rest today, just today. The quiet water doesn't have to mean permanent peace. It can mean there is a moment of stillness available to you right now, even in the middle of this. Small, immediate, not the whole answer, just the next thing. And the third is this: if you can't pray, if the words won't come, if prayer feels like talking to a ceiling, if you've tried and come away feeling nothing, then let this psalm pray for you. That's actually what psalms are for. They were written for the moments when we don't have the words. They exist because David and the other writers knew that grief and fear and exhaustion can make language fail, and they wrote down the prayers that live underneath language. You can read a verse of Psalm 23 and let it be your prayer. You don't have to add to it. You don't have to feel it. You can just offer it up as the most honest thing you have right now. Someone else's words for a feeling you recognize. The candle you can see in this video. I want you to look at it for a second, if you haven't been already. That flame doesn't flicker dramatically. It doesn't make speeches. It just holds its light quietly in the middle of whatever surrounds it. That steadiness, that quiet, unconditional, unperformative presence of light is what I want you to carry with you from this psalm. Not an answer, not a resolution. Just light that doesn't require the darkness to agree to be lit. Before we go any further, I want you to take a breath. A real one, not a symbolic one. Just in and out. Give yourself a moment before we move into the next part of this. Sometimes words need to stop, and the silence does what no sentence can. Look at the candle for a moment. Just look at it. The flame is small. It moves slightly. Not dramatically. Just that quiet, almost imperceptible shift that real flames make. Like breathing. The light it throws is soft. It doesn't illuminate everything. It wasn't meant to. It illuminates enough. Just the immediate space around it. Just enough to see that you're not entirely in the dark. Notice the contrast, the steadiness of the flame against whatever surrounds it. It doesn't argue with the darkness. It doesn't explain itself. It just holds. Breathe in. You don't have to figure anything out right now. You don't have to know what comes next, or how long this lasts, or who you'll be on the other side of it. You don't have to feel better. You don't have to feel anything in particular at all. Just breathe out. That candle, that small, steady, unhurried flame, is what I've been trying to say in every word of this video. Not that the darkness isn't real. It is real. But that something is present inside it. Quietly. Without announcement. Without requiring you to acknowledge it before it agrees to be there. God's presence is something like that. Not loud, not obvious, not always felt, but there, steady in the way that quiet things are steady, not because nothing moves them, but because they hold anyway. Just sit here for a moment. There's no rush. We'll continue when you're ready. Let's come back slowly. No need to rush back from where we just were. I want to stay close to something real here. And to do that, I need to go somewhere that spiritual videos don't always go. Not because I want to make this harder than it already is, but because I think you've earned honesty by now. And I think honesty is the only thing worth offering to someone who is where you are. So let me go there. Grief does something to faith that nobody quite warns you about. It's not that it destroys it necessarily. It's more that it displaces it. Like furniture shifted slightly after a move. Everything is still there, but nothing is exactly where you left it. And you keep reaching for things in the dark and finding them a few inches from where you expected. Prayer, for instance. I don't know if this will make sense, but there's a particular kind of silence that happens when you try to pray in the middle of acute grief, and it's different from ordinary silence. Ordinary silence is just the absence of sound. This silence has a texture to it. A weight. You kneel, or you sit, or you just close your eyes wherever you are, and you try to form the words, and the words don't come. Or they come, but they feel like they're made of cardboard. Flat. Unconvincing even to yourself. And you finish whatever you manage to say, and you sit there and nothing has shifted, and the room feels exactly as empty as it did before you started. And then there's the thing underneath that, which is harder to say. The question that you might have asked quietly, in a moment when no one was listening. Maybe not even consciously. Maybe just as a feeling that hadn't quite become words yet. Where were you? Not as a theological inquiry, not as a debate question, as a cry. Where were you when I needed you most? Where were you when I was praying for them to recover, or for more time, or just for something? And none of it came. Where were you in the hospital corridor? Where were you at 3 a.m. when I couldn't breathe? Where are you now? In this apartment, in this silence, in this Tuesday morning that has no reason to be as ordinary as it is. I want to stay here for a moment. I don't want to move past this too quickly, because I think this question, where were you, is one of the most honest prayers a grieving person can pray, and I think it matters that we name it rather than smooth over it. I've been sitting with something for a while, and I'm not sure I have the right words for it yet, but I'll try. There's a difference between faith that has never been tested by real loss and faith that has walked through it and come out the other side not unscathed, but still, somehow, intact. And I'm not going to tell you that the second kind is better, or that suffering produces stronger faith, because I think that framing can be genuinely harmful to someone in the middle of it. It can make the pain feel like it's supposed to be useful, like it has to justify itself by producing something. Your pain doesn't have to justify itself. It doesn't have to produce anything. It is what it is. The cost of having loved someone real, completely in a world where people die. That's all it is. And that is enough reason for it to be as heavy as it is. But here is the thing I keep coming back to. And again, I'm not sure I can say this perfectly, so I'll just say it the way it actually sits with me. The faith that says I believe, but I am also furious, and I am also lost, and I also don't know how to pray right now. That faith is not a diminished version of faith. It might actually be a more honest version of it than the kind that has never had to absorb anything this hard. David, who wrote this psalm, also wrote psalms where he accused God of hiding, of forgetting him, of being asleep. He said those things and he was still the man after God's own heart. The anger didn't disqualify him. The doubt didn't separate him. The loss of words didn't close the channel. I don't know what to do with your pain. I can't resolve it. I can't tell you when it will lift or whether the specific shape of it will ever fully change. Anyone who tells you they know that is telling you something they don't actually know. What I can say is this: the valley is real. The shadow is real. The length of it is real. And the difficulty of walking through it, slowly without a map, without certainty about what's on the other side, that is real too. And none of that is a sign that God has abandoned you. It is a sign that you are human, and that you loved someone, and that love always costs exactly this much when it loses its object in this world. Clara. Do you remember her from the beginning of this video? She's still at the table in a way. The coffee is still cold. The apartment is still quiet. Nothing about her situation has changed. But there's something. And I want to be careful how I say this, because it's not a resolution. There's something about the way she's sitting in it now that is slightly different. Not better, not healed, not okay. Just less alone in it. Like someone has pulled up a chair across from her and is sitting there without speaking, not fixing anything, not explaining anything, just there. That's the only shift I can honestly offer you right now. Not that the valley becomes a mountain, not that the shadow lifts on schedule, but that the valley is inhabited, that the shepherd who David wrote about, the one who makes the language shift from he to you right in the middle of the darkest line, that shepherd is not watching this from a comfortable distance. He is here, in the cold coffee silence. in the hollow Tuesday mornings, in the prayers that come out as nothing but breath, in the anger that you don't know what to do with, in the absence of feeling that you've started to mistake for the absence of God. He is in the valley. That's what the psalm has been saying all along, and this is where it finally lands, not as a comfort that resolves anything, as a presence that accompanies everything. The valley of the shadow of death is not a place God sends you through while He waits on the other side. It is a place He enters, with you, all the way, not at the edge, not with a view from above, into it, walking at the pace you're walking, which is sometimes very slow, which is sometimes just standing still, which is sometimes sitting at a kitchen table with cold coffee and no energy to move. That image, the shepherd in the valley, not at the edge of it. That's the image I want you to carry from this psalm. Not as a comfort that resolves anything, as a presence that accompanies everything. The candle is still burning. It hasn't needed your attention to keep burning. It didn't go out while you were somewhere else. It was just there, quietly, without drama, holding its light in the middle of whatever surrounded it. That is what I've been trying to say all the way through this video, in every image and every pause and every fragment of this psalm. Light that doesn't require the darkness to end before it agrees to be present. A shepherd who doesn't require you to reach the other side of the valley before He agrees to walk with you. You don't have to be okay yet. You don't have to feel this. You don't have to have arrived anywhere. You just have to be here. And you are here, and so is He. We're almost at the prayer, and before we get there, I want to say one more thing, just to you directly. Stay with me just a little longer. We're almost there. I want to speak to you directly for a moment, not through a story, not through the psalm, not through reflection. Just directly. The way you might speak to someone sitting across from you at the end of a long and honest conversation. You've stayed with this video for a while now, and I don't take that lightly, because I know what it costs when you're in grief to stay present with something. The easier thing, the thing that grief often pulls you toward, is distraction, noise, anything that fills the space so you don't have to feel the weight of it. And you chose to stay here instead, with the psalm, with the candle, with all of this. That matters. I think it means something, even if you're not sure yet what it means. In a moment, we're going to pray together, and I want to prepare you for that. Not formally, not with instructions, but just with a few simple invitations. If you'd like, place one hand over your heart, not as a gesture, just as a way of being present to yourself, of acknowledging that there is something real happening inside you, even if it's too heavy or too complicated to name right now. Your hand over your heart is enough. If you'd like, close your eyes, or rest your gaze on the candle. Either one. Whatever allows you to be a little less in the world for a moment and a little more inside this. Take one slow breath before we begin. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Not because breathing fixes anything, just because it's the most honest thing a body can do when it's been carrying something heavy. To pause and breathe and acknowledge that it's still here. And if you can't do any of those things, if even that feels like too much right now, then just be where you are, exactly as you are. That is enough. That has always been enough. I want to say something that I've been hesitant to say because I don't want it to sound like a formula or a religious line. But I'm going to say it anyway, as honestly as I can. I don't think it's a coincidence that you ended up watching this video today. I don't know how you found it. Maybe someone sent it to you. Maybe the algorithm served it up at 3 in the morning when you couldn't sleep. Maybe you were searching for something and you're not even sure what, but you're here, and God can work with exactly what you've brought to this moment. The doubt. He can work with that. The exhaustion. He can work with that. The anger, the quiet, confused, I don't know if I'm allowed to feel this anger. He can work with that too. The half-belief that isn't sure if any of this is real but is here anyway because there was nowhere else to go. He can absolutely work with that. He has always worked with exactly that. You don't need to arrive at the prayer cleaned up. You don't need to have resolved anything we talked about in this video. You don't need to feel ready. The prayer is not a reward for having gotten yourself together. It is a place to bring exactly what you have, which is whatever this is, right now, in all its weight and confusion and grief. David brought all of it to God. The fear and the valley and the shadow and the enemies and the exhaustion of it. He brought it all and he wrote it down, and 3,000 years later we still read it because it is so completely uncomplicatedly human. Nothing hidden, nothing softened, just a person before God with everything that person was carrying. That's what we're going to do now. Not a polished prayer, not a performance, just one person and this specific weight, and God who is already in the room. Whenever you're ready, we're going to pray together now. Let's pray. Lord, I don't know how to start this, so I'm just going to start. Because the person here with me right now, the one who has been sitting with this video, with this psalm, with all of this weight, they need you to hear them, and I need you to hear them. And I think somewhere underneath everything, they need that too. So here we are. Lord, the pain is real. I want to say that first, before anything else. Not softened, not framed, not wrapped in the right spiritual language. Just, the pain is real, and it is large, and it has a name, and the name is the person they lost. There is a chair that is empty now. There is a phone that doesn't ring the way it used to. There is a side of the bed, or a seat at the table, or a voice at the end of a call that was so ordinary it was almost invisible. And now that ordinariness is the thing that breaks them open. The small things, the Tuesday morning things, the things nobody warned them they would miss this much. There is the morning. Lord, you know about the morning. That first moment of waking before the remembering hits, when the world is still what it used to be, and then the remembering. Every morning the remembering, and the having to begin again, from that place, and face a day that has no idea it's supposed to be different now. There is the silence they left, not peaceful silence, the other kind, the kind that has a shape to it, the shape of the person who used to fill it. And there is something else, something that maybe hasn't been said out loud until right now. There might be anger here, Lord. Quiet, confused, not sure if I'm allowed anger. The kind that asks, why didn't you stop this? The kind that prayed and believed and trusted and still lost the person anyway. I'm not going to ask that person to put the anger away before they come to you. I'm bringing it with them. It's part of what's here, and you are large enough to hold it. You are here. I'm not saying that because it's the right thing to say. I'm saying it because the psalm said it first, and because I believe it, even in this, especially in this, the valley of the shadow of death. That's where we are right now. That's the honest name for it. And the psalm says, and I'm saying it again, out loud, into this specific dark. You are here, not at the edge of it, not waiting for us to find our way out first. Here, in the cold coffee silence, in the 3 a.m. when there are no words, in the grief that is too large for language, you are with them. Right now, in this room, in this moment, with everything they are carrying. That candle, that small, quiet, steady flame, Lord, let it be a reminder of that. Not a symbol they have to work to believe in, just a light that is simply, quietly, already there. So I want to ask you for specific things, not vague things, real things, for the real weight of this. Give them the ability to get through tomorrow morning, just tomorrow morning, the moment of waking, and the remembering, and the having to begin again. Be there in that moment. Make it bearable, not easy, just bearable. Give them one moment of stillness in the night, when the silence becomes too heavy. Just one moment where something steadies, where the weight doesn't disappear but shifts, just slightly, just enough. Give them permission to grieve at whatever pace grief actually moves at, and not the pace that the world around them seems to expect. Protect them from the pressure to be further along than they are. If there are people around them who don't know what to say and so say the wrong things, give them patience for that. And somewhere, somehow, give them one person who knows how to simply sit with them without fixing anything. Give them the capacity when it feels completely unreasonable to trust that you are in this valley with them. Not trust that feels like certainty. Just the small, stubborn, barely there trust that doesn't require proof before it takes one more step. And when they can't pray, when the words won't come and the ceiling feels very low and very close, let this psalm be their prayer. Let David's words carry what they can't carry themselves right now. Let "You are with me" be enough, said quietly into a dark room, even when nothing confirms it. Lord, I'm laying this down now, not because the weight is gone, it isn't gone, but because carrying it alone is not what you asked for. The shepherd doesn't ask the sheep to find their own way through the valley. He walks into it. So I'm laying it down, right here, into your hands, which are already in this room, which have been here the whole time, which were here before this video started and will be here long after it ends. Take it, not because we're finished with it, but because we don't have to hold it alone. Amen. God heard that. I believe that simply and completely. Whatever you brought to this prayer, the words, the silence, the anger, the exhaustion, the half-belief, He heard it. All of it. None of it was too small or too messy or too broken to receive. You don't have to feel different right now. The valley is still the valley. The morning will still come tomorrow, and the remembering will probably still come with it. I'm not going to tell you otherwise, but something was said here tonight that needed to be said, and something was heard. If the weight comes back, and it will, because that's the nature of grief, it comes in waves and it comes without warning. I want you to know that this video will be here. You can come back to it. You can come back to the psalm. You can come back to the candle and the quiet and the shepherd who doesn't wait at the edge of the valley. Whenever you need it. As many times as you need it. And one more thing, before I go. That light that this video was for you, whatever small quiet thing it offered in the middle of the dark, you can be that for someone else. You probably already know who I mean. There's someone in your life right now whose name came to mind at some point during this video. Someone who is in their own valley. Someone who is sitting with their own cold coffee and their own Tuesday morning silence. You don't have to have arrived anywhere to sit with them in it. You just have to be willing to pull up a chair. Send them this video. Not with a long explanation. Just, "Here, I thought of you." That's enough. If this video reached something real in you, I'd love for you to subscribe. Not as an obligation, but as a way of staying close to this kind of content. This channel exists for exactly the place you've been in today, and there's more to come. And if you'd like to leave a comment, If there's something you want to say about the valley you're walking through, or a psalm you'd want to spend time with next, I genuinely love to read it. You don't have to share more than you want to. Even just a name or a word or a psalm number, I'll see it. Take care of yourself tonight. The Shepherd is with you.